They say the heat will make the fluids near it change. The liquids and gases make convection currents. The air it changes right through source of heat or light. It's moving to and fro, bringing heat with it now. Radiation heat, it goes through the skies. Combustion fluids rise, it's the heat supply. You touch the fire. Combustion heat goes by, freeways heat is supplied. All right, guys, so we are nearing the end of our heat transfer unit. So, of course, I had to finish our unit out with my favorite song. Tomorrow, we'll do a different one right before your test, before I send you on your way to do an awesome job on your test. However, we are going to review today. And before we review, I would just like to say that I am so incredibly proud of this class because you all had the most submissions for the presentation for your animal shelter. But there are some of you who did not submit anything. And this is a big deal because a presentation grade is a test grade. So if you do not submit a presentation on Flipgrid, then you're going to have a 0 as a test grade. It is almost impossible to rebound from a 0. So if your name is listed here, you need to make sure you get Friday's assignment done as soon as possible. But congratulations to this class because as you can see, you all had the most presentations complete. And for that reason, I've decided to record your lesson with this class today because that tells me that you guys are most engaged and you care most about science than these other guys. So I'm recording our lesson now to be posted on YouTube for our review because I know that everybody is going to be participating and it's going to be awesome. And I actually forgot my phone. I got to run across the room and grab it real quick because we're going to use a random name generator so that you guys can have opportunity, so everybody has equal opportunity to share with our review today. So Lee or Jaquel or Samantha, do you have any questions about the presentation from Friday? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Thank you to those of you who have your cameras on. It is very helpful for me to see who's paying attention, who's engaged, and all that jazz. So thank you for having your cameras on. I'm going to run across the room real quick and grab my phone. I'm coming. Okay, so here we go. Ba, 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 ba. All right, so I have my random name generator here, and what it does is when I click pick, it'll pick somebody. But first I'm going to do Fumi for whenever we get a chance to answer questions because I don't know how soon it'll pick her again. All right, so heat transfer review. Before we begin our review, I just want to let you guys know that, of course, my favorite song is here on my Clear Touch monitor. So if you ever want to revisit that in the next 2 days, it's there. It will soon be replaced by the water cycle song, which I love. But this is the most important thing here. Our notebook has been updated with heat transfer information. So you'll click on the notebook and it will take you. Oh, hopefully it don't change. Oh, never mind. I can't. Sorry. That was a screen grab. It's not the actual thing. So you can click on that and it will take you to our heat transfer notebook on Echo. Okay. Remember, if you need to email me, you click on my email. If you need to Zoom me, you click on my Zoom link. All right. I guess it's time for us to do some review. So it's hard for you guys to see that there. So I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can follow along with me and we can do all the fun stuff together. Let's see. Sharing of the screen starting now. Just kidding, in like a few seconds. Okay, here we go. Perfect. All right. There we go. Perfect. All righty. So let me get my chat box up so I can see, because I'm going to have you guys respond privately in the chat. So go ahead and make sure you set that setting on your chat where you are responding privately to me. All right. And got my participants over here to the side now so I can see you. Fantastic. Oh, Jamari decided to join us. Great. All right. Here we go. So, first of all, the first question says, drag and drop the examples of conduction below. So we have the examples and these are going to be the same examples for all three, but we have boiling water, burning your tongue on soup, cooking food in a microwave, heat from a light bulb, warm liquid rising, cool liquid sinking, an ice cube melting on pavement or hot pavement, couldn't see that there. Walking on hot sand, cooking eggs in a pan, a hot air balloon rising, roasting marshmallows over a fire, the sun's rays, or heating a swimming pool. All right, so remember, conduction is contuction with two solids that are touching to transfer heat. Usually it occurs between solids or metals, but anytime two solids are touching and heat is being transferred by something sitting in something else, something sitting on something else, or something touching something else, you have contuction, conduction. So, Fumi, please give me an example of conduction here.
From the thingy that's below down
Yes.
there?
Yes.
I think walking on hot sand.
Yes. Walking on hot sand. Your feet are on the hot sand. Your feet are touching the hot sand. Fantastic. All right. Next volunteer is Mackenzie. Mackenzie, give me another example of conduction.
Boiling water.
Boiling water. Okay, this one's a little tricky. So since this does not say boiling water on the stove, we can't guarantee that it is conduction because it doesn't say where or what is on something else. So it doesn't tell us for sure that it's touching. But when we boil water, remember that the process that happens inside the pot is actually, the hot water warming up and then rising and then it cooling and sinking again. So it has that current or convection process. So since that one didn't give us more details, we can't put it with conduction, but can you give me another example?
Cooking eggs in a pan.
Absolutely. We know that the eggs are in the pan, the eggs are touching the pan, so that is an excellent example of conduction, contuction. All right. Let's see who's up next on the random name generator. Jamari. Jamari, give me another example of conduction, please.
An ice cube melting on the hot pavement.
And why did you choose that one?
Because it's on the pavement and like it's hot on like the pavement. So like when you put the ice cube up there, the heat's transferring by conduction because the ice cube's on the pavement and it's touching the pavement.
You are absolutely correct. The ice cube is touching the hot pavement. So the hot pavement is transferring its heat to the ice cube and causing it to melt. Fantastic. And there's one more example here, and this person is going to find it for me. All right, Asia, what is the last example here of contuction? something touching something else and heat is being transferred.
Burning your tongue on the soup.
Fantastic. Yes, burning your tongue on soup. Awesome job, because your tongue is touching the soup and heat is being transferred and it is very painful. Excellent job. All right, so now we've got a couple multiple choice questions that we're going to practice. So this is where I want you guys to comment privately in the chat to let me know what your answer is. So which of these is an example of conduction, contuction of two solids touching? Steam is rising up from a cup of hot coffee. A hot biscuit is warming the plate that it's on. The sun is shining through a window and warming a table. Which of these is an example of conduction, contuction? Oh, this is making me happy, happy, happy. All right, so everyone who has responded, you have answered correctly, except for the last person. So make sure you pay attention to why someone explains their answer choice. So randomly, I am selecting a person. Samira, tell me what you chose and why.
I chose A because it says a hot biscuit is warming the plate and it is on. Because it's on the plate and it's touching it.
Okay.
And also, it's a metal material.
Okay. Excellent job. So you chose the right answer, but you told me that you chose A. But yes, B, the hot biscuit, is the example of conduction. So excellent job. You are. Go ahead.
I chose B, not A.
I know, you just said A, but then you told me you read out the whole statement, so then I knew that you chose answer choice B. And your explanation was perfect. You're exactly right. So the heat from the biscuit is being transferred to the plate that it is sitting on, okay? So remember, we're going to look for those keywords of on or in or touching for conduction, contuction. That shows us that two things are touching. Excellent job, Samira. Woo, woo. All right, here comes the next one. Be ready to respond. A boy touches a stove and gets burned. What transfer of heat caused his hand to get burned? A, radiation, B, conduction, C, convection, or D, combustion. Gracious, hopefully he didn't combust. All right, I'm looking. I don't have too many people who have responded. I've only had 5 people respond, and they've all responded correctly. If a boy touches a stove and gets burned, don't get too close. You touch the fire. Dun, 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 he goes by 3 ways he is a play. All right, what? All right, yes. Okay, so everyone except for one person got this one right. All right, so here we go. Who is going to explain what the answer is and how do you know? Asia again. Bye, Maeve.
It's conduction because the boy touched it.
Yes, he touched it. It's right there. A boy touched the stove. That's dun da 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 contuction. Fantastic job. Way to pay attention, Aisha. What? All right. So the heat was conducted to his hand from the stove. What? All right, guys. This next one, you're going to have to pay close attention to the order of the words and the way things happen. Think of everything you know about heat transfer. Here we go. Which best explains how ice melts in a person's hand? The heat from the person's hand transfers by radiation to the ice, causing it to melt. The heat from a person's hand transfers by conduction to the ice, causing it to melt. The cool temperature of the ice transfers by radiation to a person's hand, cooling it off. Or the cool temperature of the ice transfers by conduction to a person's hand, cooling it off. All right, I've had 4 people respond, and they are all correct. I only need you to respond one time, please. 5 correct responses. 6 correct responses. 7 correct responses. 8, 9 correct responses. What? I can almost make a rap song out of this. All right, who's next? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. 2 more. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. What? Let's get it. All right, so 12 people have responded to me. Excellent job. So, 13 people. All right, excellent. You guys are participating fantastically. Jaquel, I need your participation. Let's see. Here we go. Who's up? I can't see. Who is it? Lee. What did you choose and why? Lee, your answer was correct. Why did you choose the correct answer? Is Lee here still? Lee, where you at? Unmute yourself.
The blood in your body is made like out of heat. So I'm guessing like when the heat cut the blood from the heat goes through your hand and makes the ice melt.
Yes, you're right. And by you choosing B instead of D, that tells me that you remembered that heat goes from hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold. Fantastic, guys. I'm so proud of you. I think everybody just about got every single one of those answers correct. So yes, the ice is touching the person's hand. So the heat is being transferred from their hand, from the hot object to the cold object, the ice. All right. Now, who can give me some examples of convection? Let's let Class Dojo pick someone randomly. Here we go. Oh, Jacaden's not here today. Let's pick someone else. Jaquel, give me an example of convection. 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 Liquid and gases, air and water move in convection currents. Convection currents. Convection currents. Convection currents. All right, Jaquel. Do you see an example of air or water being heated and moving in a convection current? Convection current. Convection current. Which of these is an example of convection, moving in convection, heating and rising, cooling and falling, heating and rising, cooling and falling? Jaquel, if you're not participating, I can't give you credit for being here, dude. You can respond in the chat if you think of the answer, but I'm going to choose somebody else because we got stuff to do today. Let's see who's next. Oh, Cullen. An example of convection.
Heating a swimming pool.
What? Convection. Convection. Why is heating a swimming pool an example of convection? Convection.
The reason it's a thing, an example for heating, for convection is because when you heat something up, like it says on a hot, like it says on warm liquid rising, cool liquid sinking would be a convection current, and if you're heating up the pool, it would do the same thing.
Oh, gracious, you just gave me 2 examples. That's right. So anytime we heat liquids, we warm the liquid and it rises, and we cool the liquid and it falls, and we warm the liquid and it rises, and we cool the liquid and it falls. So then we've got a current, and it goes around and around and around and around and around. As long as you have a heat source. Excellent job. So somebody else, can you identify another convection current? Convection current. Convection current. Convection current. Josiah Baker. Let me see that convection current. Convection.
Boiling water.
Oh, yeah. What? Okay. I hear you. All right. Another example. Convection. 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 All right, let's try another one. Last one. Who's it going to be? Laylan. Let me see. Can you find that convection current? Convection current. Convection.
Convection.
Which one's convection? Do you see the keywords rising or sinking or air or water?
A hot air balloon raising.
That's right. A hot air balloon rising in a convection current. Convection current. Because remember, the molecules heat up and they spread out and they become less dense. So they rise. And then those molecules begin to cool down. So they become more dense. They clump together and then they sink. Okay? So fantastic. All right. I hope you guys are listening. Hope you guys are listening to me because I gave you a hint to one of the questions. Yes, Nellie.
There's more than one more.
No. Those are the only examples. Do you see? Tell me the other one you think that it is so that we can clarify any misconceptions.
Heat from a light bulb.
Okay, so heat from a light bulb. It's not a liquid, and it's not you can feel it in through the air, but it's not moving in a current. So
What about
that
the sunrise?
it
Oh,
would be
never mind,
a
I'll tell you
better
the
example of another one. Okay, so at the end, if it doesn't make a little bit more sense when we get to the end, when we get to the example that it is of, then stay after and you and I will talk about it. All right. Let's see how we are on time. We're doing great on time. Okay. Jamara, you have a question?
Yes. So, do you see at the left-hand corner, the bottom one, the bottom corner? Walking on hot sand is conduction. I think we missed that one in the last one.
No, I think we got it. I think that was the one Fumi told me. Yeah, it was the very first one.
Yeah.
Yes, but good as, good as. All right, Samira? Question? Comment? Okay. All right. So, read carefully, which best explains why a hot air balloon rises into the air? Is it because the air is cooled, it becomes more dense, and the balloon rises? The air is cooled, becomes less dense, and the balloon rises? Or is it because as the air is heated, it becomes less dense and the balloon rises? What? 6 correct answers already? Okay. More correct answers. Yes. Yes, thank you guys. All right, I'm still waiting on a couple of you to participate. Jaquel, I need to see some participation in the chat. All right. Here we go. Random name generator. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Toolkit. Random. Oh, she doesn't have her internet yet. Mackenzie, explain to us which answer you chose and why.
Could you give me more time to think? I haven't quite gotten it yet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to give you time to think, or would you rather me go to someone else? It's completely up to you.
Could you please go to someone else? I don't quite know yet. So
I'll be glad to.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, here we go. Randomly. Bum, ba, Jamari. What? All right, tell me what your answer is and how do you know?
I don't know how I would say it.
What's the answer?
Like I don't know how I would how I would like explain it.
Well, what did you choose as your answer, my dear?
C.
Why did you choose C? Why did you choose C instead of B or A? Does answer choice A make sense? As the air is cooled, it becomes more dense. When things cool and they become more dense, what happens? They sink, right? When something cools and becomes more dense, it sinks. So that is why A does not make sense, okay? As the air is cooled, it becomes less dense and the balloon rises. So neither one of those makes sense because we know as things cool down, they become more dense because the molecules clump together and more molecules fit into a space. Okay? So A and B didn't really make sense at all, knowing what we know about science. So C is the best answer because we know as air molecules heat up and they're closer to the heat source, they begin to spread out and they rise. Excellent job, Jamari. All right. Radiation. Radiation. That is heat transferring through radioactive waves or rays or electromagnetic rays or waves. So, which of these is an example of radiation? Coming at you randomly is Fumi.
I believe it's heat from a light bulb because it's the light's rays are going.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. So yes, light travels in waves, light waves. So the light from the light bulb is radiation. Excellent job. All right, Cullen sent me all of his guesses in the chat. You are absolutely correctamundo. All right, let's see who's going to be next. Chosen randomly by Class Dojo. Bum, ba, ba, ba. Da, da, da. Oh, Jacaden, Class Dojo loves you, but you don't love science because you're not here. Haley, I have not heard from you all day today. Give me an example of radiation. Haley?
Roasting a marshmallow over a fire.
Oh, yes, my girl, yes. So anytime we have fire, that's radiation. You guys touch a fire, you're going to be hurting. And if you roast a marshmallow in a fire, it's going to be burnt to a crisp if you stick it in the fire. So yes, we kind of like to roast our marshmallows over the fire so they get nice and ooey and gooey and melty. All right, or sometimes it catches. And yes, if it said roasting marshmallows in a fire, if it said in, that would be a little confusing because then that would tell us that the marshmallow is touching the fire. So that would be like conduction. So you got to pay attention. But yes, we're roasting them over the fire. The heat waves are traveling up through space, through the air, and heating the marshmallow. Fantastic. What? You guys are so making me so happy. Okay, here we go. Samantha. What? All right, Samantha. Oh, never mind. She's not here. She left early. Lee Beckton, give me an example of radiation. Radiation. Radiation.
Right. Boiling water.
Remember, boiling water was an example of convection. But there are two more examples of radiation. maybe 3, depending on how you look at it. Do you see anything talking about rays or waves?
The sun?
Oh, yeah, the sun's rays tell us that that is radiation. Excellent job. All right, randomly, who's going to find the last example? Laylan. What is our last example of radiation? Heat transferred through waves or rays?
I think cooking food in a microwave.
What? Yeah, girl, there it is. Wave. Heating food in a microwave. That's right. Radiation. Heating things in rays or waves. All right. Lastly, we could also have heating a swimming pool. If the swimming pool is outside, the source of heat that's going to be heating that pool would be the sun. So that could also be viewed as radiation, but the biggest heat transfer that would be happening would be convection to heat the entire pool. So just to let you guys know there. Okay, so how is heat transferred in radiation? Is it through solids, through liquids, through time, or air? How is heat transferred in radiation? So those waves and those rays, do they transfer through solids, through liquids, through time, or air? Uh-oh. 3 correct answers. You guys are rocking. All righty. I'm going to choose someone who would like to raise their hand. Who would like to share their answer with me? Because I think I might be missing out on some people. Oh, all right, Jamari. Share your answer with me and how you know.
So I think it's air because like it's moving in waves. So like say like if I had like a piece of metal outside, basically what it would do, it would go to the metal and the metal would really would suck up the hot air and it'll be hot.
Yes, and you are absolutely correct. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to elaborate a little bit more on this answer. I wish they had said through space, because radiation is actually rays and waves traveling through space. So air is the closest thing to space there, but the only reason I don't like them choosing air is because we know that convection currents happen with moving air. So it kind of crosses those two a little bit. But if you guys can remember that rays or waves transfer through space or air, then you're going to be fine. Everybody who answered it in the chat answered correctly. So you are fantastically awesome scientists. Not surprised. You guys impress me regularly. All right, this is our last question before you go off on your Kahoot challenge. I will tell you that the top 3 people in this class, not the top 3 people in 5th grade, but the top 3 people in this class will be receiving a special prize from me. So please make sure you take time on your Kahoot challenge today, because if you have not received a special treat from me in the mail, I would love to take this opportunity to do that. So here is the question. Which of the following is an example of radiation? Macaroni moving around in a pot of boiling water. Steam rising up from boiling pot of grits being cooked. Or the sun shining through a window and warming a table. And yes, everybody who answered correctly. Whoa. C, because grits are nasty. Yes, the table warmed from electromagnetic waves from the sun traveling through space to warm the table. Awesome job. If any of you have any questions about any of those that you might have missed along the way, there weren't very many that you guys missed. You can hang out. We can talk about it.
Move your feet.
What? Oh, oh, never mind. I don't think you know you're unmuted. Okay. All right. Yes. And I love for those of you who are sending me your answers in the chat with supporting evidence. Nellie, Mackenzie, Jamari, thank you. So you will get your prize. I will mail your prize after 3 o'clock today. So it'll probably take like 2 to 3 days to get it in the mail. If you were one of the top 3 people in the class on the Kahoot challenge today, one student in my other class said that the link didn't work, that they had to go to the website and put in the code. Or if you have the Kahoot app, you can just open it and put in the code for the Kahoot. If you feel like you need more review before you do the challenge, it's there. And don't forget that you can click on the notebook and use that to help you as well. You can do split screen, Kahoot on one side, notebook on the other, and help you out that way. All right, and the link worked for Cullen, so just try it out and see what works for you, what doesn't. You all are free to go do your assignment if you don't have any questions. If you have questions, hang out and I'll be here. I'll be there for you. Da, 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 da.